Lesson 18. Divide unit fractions and word problems. In this lesson, we'll be modeling dividing by unit fractions and explaining the relationship between dividing fractions and multiplication. Let's begin with one of our problems. It says each lap around the track at Emma's high school is 1/4 of a mile. How many laps will Emma need to jog if she wants to jog 3 miles? Show how you can use multiplication to find 3 divided by 1/4. Let's start off with what we know. Alright, so each lap of the track is 1/4 of a mile, and she wants to jog 3 miles. Okay. How many laps will Emma need to jog if she wants to jog 3 miles? Box of math action words. Each is a math action word. Okay. And our equation. They kind of already gave it to you. So let's solve. We want to know how this is related to multiplication. Well, the best way to show that is with a model. We will always model our dividend first. We have a 3 in front, so let's draw 3. Come on. And then we're going to divide it into fourths. Well, how many fourths? Well, and really, how many laps will Emma need to jog? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's make that look like 11. And 12. 12. No. Goodness, I cannot make that look like a 12. Goodness. Finally, 12. How many laps will it take Emma to jog to get to 3 miles? It will take 12. How is that related to multiplication? Well, let's think about the definition of multiplication. It's many groups of the same thing, or repeated addition. Do you see groups of the same thing in your model? I see one group here, one group here, and one group here. How many groups do you see? 3. And what's inside those groups? How many laps are inside those groups? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we repeatedly added 4 plus 4 plus 4, which is 12. So 3 divided by 1/4 is equivalent to 3 multiplied by 4. So the dividend and the first factor are the same. The quotient and the product are the same. The operation and the divisor, the operation and this factor are the only things that switched. Let's keep looking at more examples. Here's another problem from our book. Student volunteers are getting ready to hand out programs at a talent show. Leah and Tomas are each given half a stack of programs to hand out. Leah divides her half equally among herself and 2 friends. What fraction of the original stack of programs do Leah and her 2 friends each have? Let's do what we need to do. There's a lot of things going on here. Leah and Tomas, her friends, there are a lot of things going on. Let's figure out what's really important. Let's circle our numbers. Well, I see there's lots of things. There are a lot of numbers in here. Let's come back to that. Let's underline the question. That'll help us narrow down exactly what we need. So here's my question mark. And I need to know what fraction of the original stack of programs do Leah and her two friends each have? They only care about Leah and her friends. They don't care about Tomas. So we know that Leah had half of the stack, and she equally distributed them among herself and her two friends. Well, how many people are in that part of the problem? Right, that's 3 people. So now we have circled our numbers, underlined our question. Let's box some math action words. Leah divides, they just gave that one away, didn't they? Equally, let's do that properly. Equally, divides equally, and each. They're definitely dividing for this. There's so many division words. And let's do our equation. What is being divided among her 3 friends? So what is she dividing? Are we dividing up the people in this problem, or dividing up the stack of programs? If you don't know what programs are, they're little packets of paper that you get at a show. They tell you when the performers are going to come on and things like that. If you said she's going to divide up the programs, you are correct. That should be your first number. And she's going to divide it by 3. Because she's going to give herself some, and then her friends who are helping to pass them out. And that is your equation. Complete the S in cubes on your own. If you need help setting up the problem or drawing your model, go back to lesson 17 for more help. Number 5 is really important because it's getting you ready to just think about our mathematics. After everything that we've done, we should be able to make a few rules. Complete each sentence by writing either greater than or less than in the blank. When you divide a unit fraction by a whole number, the quotient is blank, the unit fraction. So they're saying, if I have a unit fraction like, 1/3, and I divide it by a whole number like 4, is the quotient going to be less than the unit fraction or more than the unit fraction? So think about that. If I have 1/3 of a piece of paper and then I cut it up some more, are those pieces going to get smaller or bigger? Think about that. And if you don't know, make a model. Show us what that piece of paper might look like. What would happen if I took this third and cut it into 4 equal pieces? Is that piece greater than or less than 1/3? You're going to do the same thing for letter B. When you divide a whole number by a unit fraction, the quotient is, and fill in the blank. So this time, what if the 4 was in front? What would happen? Would the quotient be larger or less than? Would it be greater than or less than 4? You can draw a model for this too. If you need more help with drawing models, go back to lesson 17, and that'll help you know how to draw your model. Once you've got those models down, you'll know exactly what words go on each blank. And here's a tip. Remember, skip, flip, multiply. So when you see a problem like 1/4 divided by 5, it really means skip the first number and don't touch it. It's always going to be whatever it was before. 1/4 should always be in front for this particular problem. Skip the first number, flip the other number. So 5, that's really 5 wholes. We just don't write it that way. So we're going to flip it, and then we're going to multiply. So skip, flip, multiply. So we're going to change it so that it looks like this. 1/4. So we're going to flip so that's 1/5 instead of 5 ones. And then we're going to multiply. 1/4 of 1/5, which is 1/20. 1/4 divided by 5 is 1/20. So this is a little tip for those of you who got to the end of this video. Now you know something that we won't talk about in class very often. 1/4 divided by 5 is 1/4 multiplied by 1/5. And it works the other way too. 5, let's put the 5 in front this time, and put the fraction next. Skip, okay, I'm going to keep that. Flip, 4 ones, multiply. 5 divided by 1/4 is 20. Skip, flip, multiply, and you'll get the right answer. It's just getting rid of the division symbol, because multiplication can be much easier in many ways. So whenever you see that division symbol, you can also skip, flip, then multiply, and you'll get the right answer. This has been Lesson 18, Divide Unit Fractions and Word Problems. We modeled how to divide by unit fractions, and we explained the relationship between fractions and multiplication. Thanks for watching.